Dave Weckl stands as one of the drumming titans of the 80s and 90s, renowned for his versatility and technical prowess. His illustrious career has seen him collaborate with a diverse array of legendary artists, including the likes of Chick Corea, Paul Simon, and Diana Ross. Weckl's exceptional talent and contributions to the world of drumming have earned him a well-deserved place in the Modern Drummer Hall of Fame. Let's delve deeper into the elements that drive his passion and skill behind the drum kit. Dave Weckl's drumming journey began at the age of 8 when he received his first drum set. His early musical education was shaped by local instructors Bob Metheny and Joe Berger, as well as by a rich tapestry of influences including soul, jazz, R&B grooves, and the iconic drumming of Buddy Rich. As a high school student, Weckl's burgeoning talent earned him accolades from the National Association of Jazz Educators, and it wasn't long before he was already performing professionally with local jazz groups in St. Louis. His passion for jazz led him to leave school early and move to New York City. His arrival in the early 80s marked the beginning of a vibrant career in session work and the sort of domino effect that allowed him to find one fruitful opportunity after another. In 1980, Weckl joined the fusion group Night Sprite, which quickly garnered a dedicated following and caught the attention of renowned drummer Peter Erskine. Erskine's support helped Weckl secure a role as the drummer for French Toast, a group featuring pianist Michael Camilo and bassist Anthony Jackson. Weckl's reputation continued to grow when he was recommended by Jackson to join Simon and Garfunkel for their reunion tour. His prowess behind the kit was further recognized by Chick Corea, who invited him to join the Chick Corea Electric Band in 1985. This collaboration, which spanned 7 years, resulted in 9 releases and 2 Grammy Awards, provided Weckl with an international stage to exhibit his technical mastery. Throughout this period, he also continued to acquire session work with marquee names in the business as well. Following his successful tenure with Corea, Weckl embarked on a solo career, releasing 10 solo albums to date and establishing himself as a leading figure in the drumming world. There are 2 aspects to Weckl's playing that I want to focus on, and I believe they can broadly be defined as a means and an end. In a lot of the clinics, interviews, and essays I read on him, these 2 aspects seem to come up a lot. Weckl often stresses how important it is to be able to express yourself freely on the kit. In order to do that, you need to have a creative voice within you, and to properly express yourself, you need to have the appropriate technical chops. So this is what I'm referring to when I say means to an end. The ultimate goal is total free expression on the instrument, but in order to do that, you need practical and mechanical ability. This whole ethos is represented in Weckl's playing and style, so let's start picking it apart. Let's firstly begin looking at technique and the physical components. Weckl has a reputation for being a wizard when it comes to chops, rudiments, and technique. He's released countless practice videos and clinics because he's such a glowing reference point within the drumming community. Some key highlights of his content revolve around how you interact with the instrument.
But so many things as to whether you can do or cannot do something on the kit really comes down to setup and what your gear allows you to do to get things in a natural position so that when you're moving your body, you're not reaching, you're not pushing, and you're letting these sticks do the work, okay?
In Weckl's eyes, kit layout is a fundamental contributor to allowing you to express yourself properly. Consideration should be applied to as many aspects of the setup process as possible in order to maximize how comfortably you interact with it, and that goes for height, angle, configuration, and more.
So the setup is really important. It kind of starts with the seat height and how high you are sitting. A lot of my studies came from Freddie Gruber, and so I'm a big proponent of letting the sticks do a lot of the work. The priority and the kind of the vibe of this is always in a pendulum type of an effect. So I'm not holding on up here and doing this, right? My whole hand is doing this type of thing. In order for that to happen, though, in the bounce, I need the clearance on my leg. So I can't be sitting too low. If my leg's up here, I'm going to hit it. That forces me to hold on to the stick, and then I push. I don't want to push. I want to let everything rebound and come up and out of the kit, so things have to be high enough all over the kit for me to easily stay centered with my body, right, to get around this kit.
This insight is great because he alludes to one of his great passions, which is stick control, such an integral part of being a drummer. This excerpt from one of his many practice books overviews a common technique taught to many drummers and has an ergonomic quality to it that is distinctly aligned with Weckl's philosophy. You should practice single strokes with each hand separately. Make sure that the motion is one that has the stick working with you, just like bouncing a ball. To describe this action or feeling, when the stick is rebounding on its way up, like a ball would be after pushing it to the ground, it comes back into your hand as your hand hand is ready to put the stick downwards again. The event becomes a continuum of motion where you and the stick, or ball, sort of become one. Later in this same video that we saw earlier, he brings up a point that acts as a great self-contained explainer of his philosophy of technique being the vehicle of expression.
It's about the touch, it's about the sound, the contrast of what's going on. And that's one of the reasons that I do play traditional grip, because it's very easy to get up on the tip of the stick this way, whereas with match grip, it's not so easy to get that sound. So demonstration would be this groove, right? As opposed to that same groove with traditional.
Different grips offer different levels of control when it comes to dynamics, so by being comfortable with multiple grips, you can expand your playing palette. There's one grip in particular that's extremely powerful. It essentially involves you using your finger to hit that subscribe button. He also discusses how exploring and mastering all iterations of an exercise or rudiment will create that technical fluency that will enable you to express your ideas clearly on the kit, the key tenet of his philosophy.
One exercise that I like to do around the kit is hand and foot combination stuff, okay? And those exercises, they're designed to propel and instigate spontaneous creativity instead of practicing specific licks. So if we just take 2 and 2 hands, 2 feet, right? And we do that all around the kit. We'll start with right, left foot. Okay, so that's the basis, but you take that and you alternate strokes with the right, left, okay? You also invert all of these patterns.
Having taken a look at the means, we can now focus on the end, which is arguably the more interesting of the two because it involves application and the need for a creative voice. This excerpt from an essay on Weckl highlights exactly that. Weckl emphasizes that it is not enough to have command of the drum set, but the drummer's main focus when performing should be on musicality. This notion is most present within the context of a solo, which is what Weckl was referring to.
Then comes back to a master exercise of melody thinking, okay? Not sticking, not rudiments, not that approach. It's the approach of musical things. When I'm talking about drums and melody, I'm thinking about those kind of things, big bands, horn section things, Latin type of horn section things, right? Things like I'm trying to play those kind of ideas instead of thinking about paradiddles or rudiments. Then it becomes sounding like a marching event on a drum set, which for me is not so much fun to listen to or to play. So I always try to come from the musical expressive side and play the melodies.
We can see it firsthand in one of his solos here.
If I have to play a lot of solos, I will think form-wise, compositionally, or but never content. You're basically writing a song on the drums on the spot, and you're following a rule set of building, of taking something that you're starting and conceptually, keeping going up like this, and then maybe you go back down. Who knows? Depends on the feeling at the moment. That's part of the spontaneity, the beauty of it.
If you love drums, then you need to go check out Vic's Drum Shop. You can get 20% off most items using the code OFFBEAT at checkout. You've been working hard, it's summertime, hop over to Vic's and buy yourself those pair of sticks that you've been wanting, or maybe a cymbal or two because you deserve it. If you have any questions to do with drum hardware, just drop them a line because they're incredibly nice and knowledgeable people. Technical adeptness not only gave Weckl freedom when it comes to spontaneous improvisation, but it also allowed him to be incredibly versatile, something that most top-tier session drummers should be. Here's a very quick medley of some of the varied styles Weckl has played. If we focus on one project in particular, we discover the notion of groove and feel, those magic words that come up so often when discussing the very best drummers. In a 1984 interview with Modern Drummer, Weckl discusses the experiences of playing with bassist Anthony Jackson. Anthony Jackson has taught me so much of what the groove is about. I've never played with anyone like him. He's amazing. The grooves are so fast and he has a tendency to play a lot of notes sometimes, but there is never a question as to where the time is, and it always fits. Boy, it's unbelievable. If we take a listen to this track that features Jackson and Weckl, we can hear what Weckl was talking about. The whole rhythm section is so locked in, and it can't be stated enough how important the connection between the drummer and bassist should be in any band. It's clear the experience playing with Jackson helped instill a sense of groove going forward. Thanks for tuning in to another video on a drumming great. Let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on more content. Thank you.